What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Fandom United Live. I was just jamming out with you. My name is Gio Ramos, aka Insider Gio, and it is Thursday, July 18th, or better yet known around the world as 7 days until Deadpool and Wolverine hits theaters. This has been the movie that we've been talking about all year long, and we are a week away from seeing the only Marvel movie releasing this year, but one that's gonna shake up the universe in ways that Kevin Feige has been teasing. We're gonna get the X-Men officially in the MCU. I know there's been teases and appearances, but this is the one where the floodgates open wide, and yeah, it's gonna be great to see Hugh Jackman back, and it's going to be such a fun time. This is going to be one of those memorable theater experiences, hopefully a good one. And so, got my tickets a week from now. Literally a week from now, I'll be sitting in theaters. I think my showing is right around this time. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope all of you are doing well out there. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, I appreciate you tuning in. We're gonna have a Marvel filled episode this stream right here, and I'll be joined by Keith Barnes a little bit later, and we'll talk everything MCU. We had a Captain America Brave New World trailer release. That's the fourth installment of the Captain America movies, starring Anthony Mackie. So we'll talk about that and go through the trailer and confirm the rumors that I previously talked about, and hopefully give you a little bit more insight as we converse. And so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Kevin Feige announcing that Marvel will return to Comic-Con, and Comic-Con is actually next week. So it's going to be a very interesting and busy week if you're a Marvel fan. I still haven't seen rewatched Deadpool. I want to do that. I want to rewatch Logan, and I kind of want to rewatch X-Men Origins Wolverine. I feel like I have to rewatch that movie. So in anticipation for the event film of the year. No disrespect to Dune Part 2. So we're going to talk a lot of Marvel here, but I want to open up with a little bit of a rant here, something that's bittersweet because I'm old enough to remember the golden age of first-person shooters and multiplayers online, and I am talking about the a game that is on the Mount Rushmore of popular video games, and that's Halo. It was announced earlier today that the Halo series has been canceled after just 2 seasons. Halo premiered on Paramount Plus, a service that I did not have and only subscribed to so I could watch the Halo series. And it was a long time, project in the works, highly anticipated. If you don't know what Halo is or what I'm talking about, so Halo is one of the video games that paved the way for online multiplayer in the shoot 'em up games that you see: Fortnite, Apex, uh, Call of Duty to an extent. I mean, it was really Halo and Xbox Live that took online multiplayer, first person shooter games to another level. It didn't start it, but it took it to another level. And I would argue, as I just said, that Halo is on the Mount Rushmore of the most popular video games to ever exist, along with Madden, which, even if you're not a football player, the fact that, or play football or enjoy the game, the sport, the fact that Madden has lasted this long and still is just as popular puts it on the Mount Rushmore. Obviously, you have Mario, and then I'll leave the fourth one up to you guys to decide. But Halo is one that defined a generation of gamers. And so, there was supposed to be a movie with Peter Jackson, the director of Lord of the Rings, back in 2008, 2009. That turned into a Neil Blomkamp coming off of District 9, possible adaptation for the big screen. That turned into a limited series. I forget what platform it was streaming on or featured on. And then that turned into, I'm sure there were projects in between, but then you had the Paramount Plus series. And so, as you can imagine, as a big Halo fan, somebody who played the games religiously, I was super excited to see this. Like a Halo series on streaming with a real actual budget, that could work. That could work. And then you had, I remember Steven Spielberg backing this like he did 10 years ago. And there were reports that Steven Spielberg was going to ghostwrite some of the episodes. And ghostwriting is basically just, polish the script without getting credit. And so you have that. We had our first look at the Master Chief armor. Master Chief is the main character in the Halo series, and everything looked great. Here's a photo right here, along with the announcement. That's Master Chief right there, and Variety reporting that Halo canceled after 2 seasons right there. So you had all these things going for it. I went out of my way, downloaded and subscribed to a streaming platform that I had no interest in subscribing to, but I did so just for Halo, and we were off. And this was back in 2022 when Halo first premiered. And I muscled my way through all the first season. I kept telling myself with every episode, the first episode started off with a bang, okay? It gave us video game Halo, okay, which is what a lot of us were asking for, okay? You had the Spartans fighting the Covenant. The Covenant are the bad people, the alien Covenant, and these Spartans are these they're highly trained military tactical good guys who have these amazing abilities, from strength to jumping to just combat evolution. um and I remember that first episode of the first season was just giving me everything I wanted as a Halo fan. And then from there, it just kept stringing me along with each episode, just going in all these sorts of different directions, focusing on characters that, they try to make us, value them and make them important and get us invested. There was a big controversy about the main actor who played Master Chief, like constantly taking his helmet off, removing his helmet, which in the video games did not happen at all. I mean, maybe there was a couple of times where the camera didn't show it, but Master Chief had his helmet off, and that bothered a lot of people. And to be honest, it bothered me too. Um, I think back to 2012's Dread movie with Carl Urban, and how in that movie, Carl Urban, who plays Butcher in The Boys, big time actor. If you don't know his name, you know his face. But Carl Urban playing Dread, um, you did not see him take his mask off once. Once. He was the character. And I appreciated that. And the fans appreciated that. And the movie was amazing. Still pissed off that there's no sequel. And then you have the Halo series where this actor, and I'm forgetting his name, but I've seen some of his limited work. I did enjoy him in the limited work that I seen him as an actor. what's his name here? Pablo Schreiber. He was in Den of Thieves with Gerard Butler. He played Master Chief, and the writers and the producers and Pablo, to some extent, just would not compromise. They wanted to remove the helmet, and why is that a big deal? Well, because part of the mystery of Master Chief and part of the fascination, and what makes him such an interesting and compelling character, is that you don't see his face. He is strict. I want to kick the Covenant's ass and Team Humans. And in this one, they took it in all sorts of directions with Master Chief. Okay, I had to watch. I never thought I'd see the day when I sat and watched an episode where Master Chief had intercourse with the antagonist. Um, yeah, that was a creative choice, and this show went in all sorts of directions. Finally, by like the ninth episode in the season, I gave up and I was like, okay, this series is officially trash. And I was bummed out. I watched the final episode of the first season. It had some of the worst graphics I've seen, visual effects that are so bad. It reminded me of The Mummy Returns. And you remember seeing the Scorpion King with Dwayne Johnson and how that looked, even for the time. Ugh. And then I didn't even bother with season two. I did not bother watching Halo season two. People told me it was better, but the bar had been set so low that I wasn't having it. So I didn't even bother watching Halo season two. Maybe someday I'll throw it on just to watch it, but this news here does not surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. A lot of Halo fans were pissed off. This series did not do anything to revitalize the popularity of Halo, and I don't think we'll see another a live action adaptation this decade, and it sucks because all we wanted was a big budget movie. Okay, you could have done that. You had the talent to do that. At one point, you had Neil Blomkamp coming off of District 9. You had Peter Jackson still riding the high of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the 2005 Kong movie. We got excited a few times when we found out Steven Spielberg was involved. And this is a bummer right here. It really is. Okay. As somebody who, like I said, I played the game so religiously. Okay. I mean, Team Snipers, Team Rockets, Team Deathmatch, Big Team Deathmatch, Infected, all these game modes. I just remember playing as a teenager, young adult, and it's sad to see. I don't play Halo these days, and now Halo is pretty much at its lowest point in my opinion. It's just it sucks, man. Doesn't it make you just want to pop open a beer and just, man, it was my childhood. I'm drinking Lagunitas right now, which, by the way, the brewing company is a quarter of a mile away from my hotel here in Petaluma, and I'm for damn sure am going. I'm trying to broker a deal between the hotel I'm working at, where I'm at right now, and the Lagunitas Brewing Company, where people can get a discounted hotel stay and have a day at the brewing company, go try different beers, get your favorite beers, come back to the hotel. We have amazing barbecue and patio and fire pits out here. And yeah, I'm still working on that. We got some people here in the chat. Star Drew, he made it early. He made it early. Hey, he said, sure twists my arm to be early and to watch Twister tomorrow at noon. I want to see Twister as well. Okay, I think it'll be a fun time. And I had no interest when it was first announced, Twister. It's funny how that works, but I don't know, just something about the marketing with Twister, and then, Glenn Powell, he's a fun time to, go hang out with and watch, on the big screen and spend 2 hours of your day with whatever movie he's in. You know, excited to see that. We'll talk a little bit about Glenn Powell and a project that he's another remake or maybe legacy sequel, whatever you want to call it. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, looking forward to Twister. Don't hurt yourself watching Origin Wolverine. X-Men Origins Wolverine is not as terrible as I remember. I watched it a few years ago. Okay, there's still some creative choices that, what the hell were you thinking? There's still visual effects that, or stick out like a sore thumb. Okay, you know which parts I'm talking about. Um, but there's enough fun side characters. I very much enjoy the relationship between Logan and Victor, Wolverine and Sabretooth, which by the way, I really hope they bring back Liev Schreiber in some capacity in Deadpool and Wolverine. I know we're getting Taylor Maine as Sabretooth, which is cool, but I'm telling you right now, spoiler alert, that's going to be a quick death. Okay. Yeah. I can already see that fight going very quickly and Wolverine just, beheading him or something. Um, yeah. So we'll see. Throw it on and have a good time. Why not? It's gonna help the time pass until Deadpool and Wolverine releases in theaters. We got John Booz here. I forgot season 2 of Halo was a thing. Yeah. Yeah. Our buddy Jake Berlin at Qui-Gon Jake was watching it, and I remember him giving some positive remarks about it. Um, but still, it wasn't enough. After that first season, it was just, yeah, yeah. And like I said, I don't know when we'll ever see a Halo live action adaptation. I don't think it'll be this decade, and we're already at the halfway point, pretty much. Um, yeah. So I wanted to open up with that rant right there. That news broke not too long ago, and a couple hours ago. So bummer. But all right, while we wait for Keith Barnes, because I really want to talk about Marvel returning to Comic Con. Let's bring up some other things here that we can talk about to help the time pass. So where do I want to go with this? You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about Captain America Brave New World. Let's start with that, right? Because that was the one that released early in the week. I mean, it's been a Marvel week, guys. It has been a Marvel week. Okay. The press screenings for Deadpool and Wolverine have already happened. And so there's already leaks happening right now. So be careful on social media with browsing online for Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, like browse carefully and at your own risk. Let's talk about Captain America: Brave New World, the fourth installment of the Captain America movies. If you don't recall, Steve Rogers went back in time to return the Infinity Stones, which we're still waiting for that series, even though we know it's going to happen. Like we still want to see it. And then handed off the shield to Sam Wilson at the end of Endgame, and Sam Wilson took over the mantle of Captain America. And then we got The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is a series that I was really high on, but I think I was really high on that series because I just love the character of John Walker, U.S. agent. I mean, that's my guy. I need him back ASAP. Okay, like Thunderbolts cannot get here soon enough. apparently they're showing the trailer of Thunderbolts, which is the Marvel Suicide Squad version, essentially, of anti-heroes and bad guys. Thunderbolts will have a trailer premiere at Comic-Con next week, next Saturday, which I need to get with Keith and make sure that we're good to do a live show and do live reactions to Marvel announcements. We'll get to Comic-Con. Anyways, back to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So during that series, if you haven't seen it, it was 6 episodes. Sam Wilson struggles with the responsibility of being Captain America and all that. He's just unsure about all of it, his role, and how could he possibly live up to Steve Rogers. He does something stupid with the shield, and then it goes into the hands of John Walker, who the government tries to push to be Captain America, and doesn't work out very well. Bucky doesn't, find that very funny or funny at all. He gives Sam Wilson a ton of crap. The two of them get the shield back, fight the bad guys. John Walker gets a suit upgrade, gets a serum, becomes an anti-hero, one of the most badass anti-heroes in the MCU. And Sam Wilson finally embraces the role of Captain America, defeats the bad guys with the help of Bucky and John Walker, like I said, anti-hero, and does a whole 3-minute speech about the importance of the politicians and the role they play and being Captain America and all that. And along the way in the series, we meet Isaiah Bradley, who was actually the first person to get the super soldier serum, not Steve Rogers. And he has a whole backstory that I really enjoyed, tragic backstory. He butts heads with Sam Wilson throughout the series. Two of them become buddies at the end. And there's a nice emotional moment between Isaiah Bradley and how he's honored by Sam Wilson and by that whole, what do you call that place? The museum, the Smithsonian. So for the most part, I did enjoy the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And now that leads into this new upcoming movie that's releasing next February. So initially, Captain America, the fourth movie, was titled New World Order. And then they decided to do a 180 on the title and change it from Captain America New World Order to Brave New World. I still like New World Order. Okay. It's like when Star Wars changed it from Star Wars Anthology Rogue One to Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I just don't like it. I like New World Order, but whatever. Title aside, we'll keep the trailer playing and we'll kind of go through it little by little. So let me suit it up right here so we can watch along with the trailer. I'll probably get copyrighted, but I don't care because on Fandom United, I like to show things and keep the conversation going. So here's the trailer right here. We'll press play. Sound is off. It's a short teaser trailer. That's our first, well, sort of look right there at President Ross, played by Harrison Ford. And in comes Sam Wilson as the Captain America. And we get a little quick glimpse of the suit. Now, apparently, this suit right here that Captain America is wearing is one that he gets later on in the movie. He starts off in the white outfit that we see at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then something happens, and I think this is his I was going to say his flying tactical suit, but the other suit flew as well. So yeah, he's going to get a suit upgrade, which you would expect with these Captain America movies. The character's always changing outfits. And two of them decide, you know what, let's meet. Thaddeus Ross is like, you know what, let's work together again. I know we've had our run-ins in the past. They address how Thaddeus Ross looks a little different, and that's kind of a commentary that the late William Hurt, who played Thaddeus Ross, Thunderbolt Ross in Civil War and in The Incredible Hulk, passed away some time ago, and Harrison Ford takes over the role. And then he's making a speech, and then this is crazy right here because if in case all of you know that there was an assassination attempt on former President Trump. And then this happens in the trailer. This was days before that happened. Um, they're going to show it in the trailer where Isaiah Bradley, the character who first got the super soldier serum, attempts to assassinate the president, and that's just crazy coincidence. Crazy. I mean, wow. You think people went back to this trailer just to watch it again? It's madness. But what's Isaiah Bradley's motive? What's his motive for assassinating the president? Something happens, and I'm curious what that leads to this. I wonder if Isaiah Bradley and I was going to say General Ross, but President Ross, if they have a history together. I'm very curious about that. So, for some reason, Sam is making a run for it. Maybe they thought he had a hand in it because he was sitting right next to Isaiah Bradley, which is dumb. I mean, you're talking about Captain America assassinating, assassinating the president. Does he look like U.S. agent? So, yeah, he probably had a hand in getting Isaiah Bradley out of there. Maybe that's why they're going after him. Um, yeah, so some stuff is going down right now, and there's a from what the rumors say, and the teaser trailer kind of shows it a little bit. Um, the Celestial, remember the Celestial in Eternals with that's halfway sticking out? That finally comes back into play, and it's labeled Tiamat Island in the MCU. That's what they call it because the Celestial was Tiamat, and supposedly, and you can kind of see this in the trailers. There is a war going on over what's included with Tiamat Island. And we'll get to what's included when I get to that shot in the trailer. That right there reportedly is our first look at Tim Blake Nelson as the leader. Now, if you don't remember, the leader was teased all the way back in The Incredible Hulk. Tim Blake Nelson's character is the one who works at the campus, and he's a scientist. He's Mr. Blue, if you remember The Incredible Hulk, where Edward Norton's character, Bruce Banner, Mr. Green, was talking with Mr. Blue throughout the movie, and Mr. Blue is Tim Blake Nelson. He's been running tests on trying to find a cure for Bruce Banner's disease as he sees it, gamma radiation and blood testing and all that. Well, some of the blood from Bruce Banner goes into an open cut in Tim Blake Nelson's character. Um, and then it's teased. There's a shot where it's close up of Tim Blake Nelson. You can kind of see his head beginning to expand, and he smiles. We never got any follow up from that. That was one of the criticisms I had about the MCU for the longest time. Why aren't you acknowledging the Incredible Hulk? Okay, that movie does exist in your MCU timeline. Okay, but you treated it as as if it didn't. Okay, as if you'd rather not remember that. Maybe it's because Edward Norton or whatever the case might be, because the movie at the time didn't gross as much as they hoped at the box office. But better late than never, right? 16 years later, we're finally getting Tim Blake Nelson back as the leader in a mysterious role. What he will play. The rumors, apparently, okay, take it with a grain of salt, but insider here, is that he is leading the Serpent Society. And if you remember, the Serpent Society was initially teased as the third Captain America movie. Remember Kevin Feige at the El Capitan Theater announced Captain America Serpent Society? Everyone was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he changed the title to Civil War and brought out Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. And that guy knows how to, like, play an audience and keep everyone and, just control the room. But the Serpent Society, and I don't know too much about them. According to online here, snake themed supervillains appearing in many of the comics. Um, there is a character named Cobra, you have a character named Viper, Eel, Death Adder, and Anaconda. One of the more popular Captain America foes, I guess you could say. So yeah, apparently the leader is leading the Serpent Society. Take that with a grain of salt. And that was our first look. And then now we have Sam Wilson with the shield doing some investigation. And he's accompanied by his right hand, a character who appeared in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. God, what's his name? Danny Ramirez is the actor. Joaquin Torres, right? And he essentially becomes Sam Wilson's Falcon, so to speak. So they're going to be tagging along together. And let's go back to that shot. I think that was a leader right there, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go back a little bit more. I'm pretty sure that's the leader right there, disguised as a photographer, keeping a close eye on Sam. It's a little blurry right there, but to the left, that's either Isaiah Bradley or no, that wouldn't be Giancarlo Esposito. And then to the right, I don't is that Bucky? That can't be Bucky, right? No, that's got to be Joaquin Torres, his right hand. Danny Ramirez. Just a guess. Let's go back a little bit. Okay, so aircraft carriers blowing up. I'm trying to find the shot. There it is, right there. Could that be our Serpent Society? It's just a quick shot, but those don't look like good guys. And then we have a death. Who could that be? I wonder if Steve Rogers makes an appearance in the movie. Do you think they go that route? You think they'd bring back Chris Evans as Steve Rogers and, like, hey, if you didn't get the clue, here it is now. I'm done as Captain America. The character is gone, and now you have Sam Wilson. In case passing the shield off wasn't enough. I wonder who that is. It's got to be, obviously it's a good guy. Thaddeus Ross? You think Thaddeus makes it out of the movie? President Ross, Harrison Ford, at 80 years old? Could Harrison Ford be one and done. Who dies in this movie? Let me know in the comments. It's either Steve Rogers, President Ross, or maybe Isaiah Bradley. Maybe Isaiah Bradley has his moment, and then they give him a proper honoring. I'm very, very curious. And yeah, everyone is after what is uh what is in Tiamat Island. And then that is our first look at um Giancarlo Esposito, and his character is George Washington Bridge in the MCU. So we thought Giancarlo Esposito was playing, another big character and whatnot, but um, he is in fact playing George Washington Bridge. And according to the comics, he's a badass, trained hand-to-hand combat, uses firearms, skilled strategist. He was a high-ranking member of Shield. I don't know how closely Marvel will follow, the backstory and whatnot. They tend to go off, so take this for what it is. But yeah, he's part of a mercenary group called the Wild Pack, later known as Six Pack, which was led by Cable. Interesting. And yeah, he was a major in Shield. He got involved with the X Force a little bit. Was involved in the Civil War storyline. At one point, he was tracking down the Punisher. So he's supposed to be a big time badass, and of course, you get Giancarlo Esposito to play that role. And so, yeah, curious to know more about his character. What is going on here? What is going on in the background of a Brave? Somebody's fighting. Let's see if I can go back a little bit. Oh, what is going on here? What are they fighting over and who's fighting? Person on the right is a male and could be Sam Wilson fighting a member of the Serpent Society. Very curious. And there are those two again. I think they're bad guys. They're antagonists, but I don't know. From this angle, could go either way. There's President Ross again, and then something's going down. Another incident right there. So there's one press conference where he is indoors. There's blue lighting and glass, right? So maybe this is the first incident right here, which is why in the earlier shot where Isaiah Bradley's trying to kill him, there was bulletproof glass put up. But something's going down here. Sam Wilson's getting fired at. What is going on? All sorts of destruction happening around all these beautiful trees and these orchids. Thaddeus Ross has had enough. This is probably what leads him to take the damn serum. He's like, okay, you want to mess with me? I'm going to turn into Red Hulk. Picks up the shield. That's such a badass shot. This got to be Red Hulk, right? Look at the path of destruction right there. It's like something is trying to jump out, and it was cleverly edited. Could be Red Hulk. He said, "Enough's enough," and tears through the White House. That's a badass shot. And then there it is right there. That is the celestial Tiamat Island. And apparently Japan is a big player in this movie right here because everyone's after the strongest metal, the newest and most strongest metal known to man. It's not vibranium. This is how adamantium gets introduced. That's pretty cool, huh? A freaking celestial. Take it with a grain of salt. But that's what a lot of people are fighting over. Who controls whose territory is the celestial Tiamat and everything that comes with it? Oh yeah, we're going to get some badass aerial fights right here. I like that, the black and white. Here comes the money shot right there. Let's go back. Red Hulk. Why would Red Hulk be fighting Captain America? Unless Red Hulk has Ross this entire time has a side agenda going on, a side motive. But yeah, the rumors were true. We are getting Red Hulk. President Ross, Red Hulk, Harrison Ford, Harrison Ford's likeness. That's gonna be interesting to see. Surprised he took on a role like this, right? Just this late stage in his career, he's just probably having fun at this point. He got his Indiana Jones movie, and I'm curious to see how long he'll stick around in the MCU. Um, but yeah, that is Captain America: Brave New World, the February 2025 release date. So we're getting Deadpool and Wolverine. I think Agatha releases this year, and then Brave New World February 2025, which means Brave New World is probably going to be the cast is going to be at Comic Con, right? I mean, Comic Con's every July, so yeah, they could be at Comic Con promoting this movie. We could probably get some surprises in there. Maybe those who are in attendance can get a sneak peek, right? A clip or something that they're going to talk about. And of course, we'll react to. So we'll see how Keith feels if he wants to do a stream, and if you guys are even interested in a stream, some sort of event live stream where you can follow along. So that is Captain America: Brave New World, releasing February. Looks good. Looks good. I'll check it out. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Let's talk about. Oh, actually, here, let me bring this up real quick. To my point about Captain America: Brave New World and Japan being involved. Here's an insider I follow right here. The actor from Shogun, Takahiro Hira from Shogun, will be in the cast of Captain America: Brave New World, and Alex P suggests the Prime Minister of Japan. So Japan is going to want some of that adamantium. Interesting. Silver Samurai, anyone? Silver Samurai? Hmm? All right. So since we brought up Comic Con, let's talk about Marvel Studios returning to where it all began, right? Comic Con. Because Comic Con is where it all began, right? 2006, John Favreau, Robert Downey Jr., they present the first footage of Iron Man, right? It was 2006 or 2007, one of those years. But I want to say 2006 because there wasn't very much anticipation. It wasn't even called Marvel Studios at the time, right? It was Marvel Entertainment. And yeah, the whole place erupted because it's like Iron Man, really? And then you see the footage and you're like, oh my God, Iron Man, really? Oh man. So Marvel Studios returning to Comic Con, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because they have so many questions that need to be answered, right? I mean, take your pick, right? What's going to happen with the Kang character, right? Is Halo, or not Halo, Avengers 5 even called Kang Dynasty anymore? I doubt it. So what's going to happen with that character and the Council of Kangs and all that? I mean, they could easily recast, right? And call it a variant or something. Like I'm actually the real Kang, right? Do what they did with the Mandarin. I'm the real Mandarin, and whatnot. It worked before apparently. So there's questions regarding that. There's questions regarding the Blade movie, you know? What's what what's what, what's going to happen with Blade? What's going on there? Is that movie even happening? You know? Are we going to get it before GTA 7? Who knows? Um, what about all these characters that you introduced, right? Moon Knight, She-Hulk. What's the future of Captain Marvel, you know? Uh X-Men. What's happening with that, There's all these questions. Shang-Chi. What's going on with Shang-Chi? Um So it's going to be a very, very important um, Hall H panel. It has a potential of being as as big. I talked about it previously, the El Capitan Theater, where Civil War got announced, where Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther was introduced. Um, it's gonna be insane. And of course, Deadpool and Wolverine will be present, obviously. Um, will we get an announcement that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds will return, which I think they will return. Um, you don't tease Secret Wars multiple times throughout your marketing if they're not going to be back. All right. The first one was, you remember the comic book that was laying down off to the side in that teaser trailer where Deadpool gets thrown to the ground, and then you see Hugh Jackman's shadow as Wolverine walk up slowly, and then the second one with the cell phone announcement where Wolverine tells the audience to shut their phone off. What does Deadpool say before that? In Secret Wars, they're going to introduce, but he gets cut off. So there's going to be a lot of questions, and we're going to get a lot of answers. And I think there's going to be a return to hype for Marvel, but I think people are going to be a little bit reserved still because they want to see it. They want to see this play out. They don't want to have any more delays with movies. Like, stop teasing your fan base, okay, and announcing so many things if you don't for sure have it locked down. Um, We all know Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be a hit. Okay, it's going to be a hit financially. Will the movie be any good? I have to believe so, considering the talent. But I think there's still going to be that hesitancy of, okay, we know that was going to be a success. That was a given. What else? Okay, they have to earn back some trust. Okay, we can't keep pointing to Infinity War and Endgame and saying, no, no, we talking about they've been great. They've had some hits since, but it's been more so batting 500 at best. And that's what happens when you throw so much content into the audiences. They don't become as excited, right? It becomes a little oversaturated. And so there's been a lot of course correction, and we're gonna get to see that new phase 5 and phase 6 lineup right there and what that could be. I think we'll probably get an update on Tom Holland's fourth Spider-Man movie and what's going on there. Um, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, it's gonna be a lot of surprises right there. Saturday will be a day. Okay, like by that point, I don't know how many times all of us will be watching Deadpool and Wolverine. Like maybe our second viewing or our third viewing, depending on the type of fan you are. But yeah, Saturday I'm gonna have my Twitter or X app up. I'm gonna keep reloading it. I'm gonna be watching closely. Um, I wish Hall H had a pay per view, right, where you can pay $5 to watch the Hall H panel from home. Can you imagine how much money they would make? But what about the exclusives, right? Those people who waited there for hours and the treat that they get. Well, you can cut to a quick intermission and saying, footage being shown to exclusively to attendees in Hall H. I mean, that place is, from what I hear, is jam packed as is, right? I mean, there's not much, space to move around and whatnot. Um, so I think that'd be a great opportunity to make money. And then, yeah, the Blade is going to be a big one. Talk about, what's going on with that. I mean, you have Mahershala Ali, two-time Oscar-winning actor. Like, what are you doing? All he's done so far is one line of dialogue, and that was like a whisper at the end of Eternals. We'll probably get more Fantastic Four updates. Okay. I don't think we'll get Doctor Doom announcement or casting. I think they'll save that one because the Fantastic Four movie is still a ways. So we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of questions, and I'm excited they're back. I'm very curious at what they will have to say. Star Trek. If anyone asks a question about Craven the Hunter and gets booze for the next 10 minutes that no one wants to know, well, Craven the Hunter is a part of a Sony verse that just Marvel prefers staying far away. Like they don't want anything to do with that. Venom. As much as I enjoy the Venom movies, it's a missed opportunity. How do you not have Spider-Man in those movies? I get it, it's Venom movies, but still. And Rachel, thank you for stopping by, Rachel, and tuning in. I appreciate that very much. Appreciate you. I appreciate Booze. I appreciate Star Drew. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, and Kevin Feige is getting a star on the Walk of Fame Congratulations, well deserved. A lot of people are saying better late than never. Well, you know what? It's just okay. It happened. Okay, he's far from done. Kevin Feige's far from done. He might be done with Marvel soon, probably by the end of this decade, and move on to something else. But he's not done with Hollywood at all. Um, I'm curious to see what he can do outside of the MCU. You know, he has a wealth of knowledge with Marvel. They called him pretty much an encyclopedia, right? But I want to see what he can do outside. I know he had a Star Wars movie that's no longer in development. I mean, shocker, Star Wars project no longer in development, right? But I'm curious what else he would tackle. Um, so yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Comic Con will have a presence. I'm sorry, Marvel will have a presence at Comic Con July 25th for Deadpool and Wolverine, and then again on the 27th, which will be Saturday, the main Hall H panel. Okay, in other Marvel news, big news right here. I expect to see these guys returning to Hall H as well. The Russo brothers directing Avengers 5 and Avengers 6, untitled. Okay, notice they didn't use the term Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Let me share this screen right here. Obviously, this is good news, guys, right? I mean, you have the directors who did The Winter Soldier, they did Civil War, they did Infinity War, and now Endgame, and now Avengers 5 and Secret Wars. They're back. And it's a good thing that they're back, right? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As far as Marvel's concerned, right? These guys, they know what they're doing. They're up to the task, right? If the challenge was to just make more of the same, they probably wouldn't be as interested. But you're talking about Secret Wars here. You're talking about Endgame times 10. You're talking about characters from every corner of anything Marvel related. That right there is a challenge that the Russo brothers are willing to step up to the plate. Oh, okay. Marvel, you want to do that? Yeah, we're interested. Yeah, we'll come back. And there's I've yet to come across one person who thought this was bad news. Now, does that mean all of their creative choices have been universally loved and supported? No. There was one user on Twitter who did not like what the Russo brothers did to Thor and to Hulk, which I understand that. I could see the frustration between Thor and Hulk, although I think the frustration with Thor is more to do with Love and Thunder, right? Because Thor's arc from Infinity War, from Ragnarok through Endgame, but we'll say Infinity War to Endgame for the sake of the Russo brothers here. That arc was damn good. It made sense for Fat Thor to exist. Thor, for the longest time, beat himself up, right? He it had only been some time since Thanos escaped and he failed to kill Thanos, but for him it felt like an eternity. And he finally got his revenge. He went for the head. and he got Thanos finally. But did that make things better for Thor? Did it really? He got what he wanted. Thanos is dead. Great. Now what? It's a question that we hear a lot from our favorite superheroes. You go down that path, you get your revenge. Great. Now what? He went into a deep state of depression. And I had just talked about depression a few weeks ago on here, right? I don't care how buff, I don't care how tough you are. Depression is no joke. If you're not careful, it will eat you alive and it will make you eat yourself and eat until you're unalive, right? And that's what happened to Thor. He just gave up. He would drink constantly as I take a sip of my beer. And he would eat and eat and eat and drink and ignore, do whatever he could to cope with his trauma, with his pain, instead of addressing it face on and head and, all that good stuff. So it made sense for Fat Thor to exist. Now, it's not the Russo brothers' fault that Taika said, okay, I'm going to go into Thor Love and Thunder and just do whatever, right? Just take the shackles off and go full Taika. um, so, yeah, that's not entirely on the Russo brothers, but I can understand if you didn't like that, okay? If you want to go back to Norse God and, Infinity War, Ragnarok, Thor. I understand that. As far as Hulk is concerned, there is no excuse for what they did to Hulk. No excuse at all. And the reverse effect happened, right? Russo started off with Thor. Taika took it and ruined it even more. Taika started off with Hulk. Russo's took it, ruined it even more. The reverse. I have not liked this version of Hulk, Smart Hulk, whatever you want to call it. I don't care if it's comic accurate. I don't need any more jokes and any more playtime and all this kind of stuff, okay? Give me serious Hulk. And there is some bias because The Incredible Hulk is still one of my favorite MCU movies. I still think Edward Norton um would have been a better Bruce Banner had he continued all the way through. Just my opinion. But Hulk getting his ass beat by Thanos, I mean, yeah, that that can I guess I'll take that. And then from there, just scared to come out and this and that and all that. And I get it was all for fun, but they didn't really do anything with it, right? I mean, yeah, he turned into Smart Hulk and all that, but he was never menacing or like felt ferocious or anything like that. He was just there. And then She Hulk, oh God, just yeah. And then his son with a terrible haircut. Oh God. So maybe they redeem Hulk. I don't know, but that one I won't forgive the Russos for. But hey, those are just a few things. Okay, these guys are awesome. Russo brothers, they're largely responsible for some of the best MCU movies that have ever been produced. And I'm curious to see what they do differently. And I'm also curious to see if there will be any sort of the the case where a director is attached to a franchise for too long and it starts to decline, right? I'm looking at Michael Bay with Transformers, Sam Raimi with Spider-Man 3, Bryan Singer with X-Men Apocalypse. Um, yeah, so I'm curious to see if there'll be any sort of decline. But what do you think, Keith Barnes, about the Russo brothers' return to Marvel? Is this their safety net? Is this their
Hmm.
okay? Let me just go back to what we know and who we can trust.
I didn't even think about that safety net. Yeah, maybe. I know they did. They I don't know if they directed. Did they direct that Gray Man? Was it Gray Man? The Gray Man, something like that.
Gray Man, I think
Did they
they
direct
did,
that?
and I
Yeah,
alluded to it. Their track record outside of Marvel,
yeah, not the best.
yeah,
Not the best.
not the
I
best.
I like that one movie. It was one of. It might have been. I don't know if it was Chadwick Boseman's last. It was one of his last.
21 Bridges,
I thought that was all right, man.
they were producers.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah.
after Endgame, they directed Cherry with Tom Holland. They
Oh, I never saw
directed The
that.
Gray Man
Mhm.
and a movie this year called The Electric State.
Oh, I didn't know about
Um,
that. Okay.
yeah, it's a Netflix release.
Oh, I thought they directed that 20. What's it called? Then 21. What's it, 21 Bridges. Yeah, I thought they directed.
21 Bridges.
Uh, I thought that
Oh,
was all
their
right.
names were all over the
Right,
marketing.
right. That's yeah. That must be what I thought. I didn't mind that movie. I thought it was all right. But well, look, maybe it is a little bit of that, but they have. Mm, I think they're doing what the Feige or whoever at Marvel was hoping that Joss Whedon would be able to do. Um, but it seems like it's been these two guys, and they've really got their hand on this entire universe. How to direct all the different characters, how to handle the stories. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. Maybe I just missed it. I don't know who the writers are of either of these movies. Um, if you're bringing these two guys, I would imagine they got to bring back Marcus and McFeely, the two guys that wrote
Yeah, those two. Yeah,
yeah, the Captain America movies and the last two Avengers movies. So, because that foursome right there, I mean, they seem to have a lock on it. It's not perfect. Nothing's perfect, but they really do a good job with all the material and all the characters, in my opinion. So, um, and looking at the these are the guys to write the ship. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they got to get a handle on whatever is the direction is, or maybe to steer it in whatever direction they want to do, or whatever it is. I think those are the guys you bring in. It's like when about this is 2024. Remember that time period when Phil Jackson left the Lakers and Shaq went to Miami, and the Lakers were kind of neither of us are Laker fans, but we're NBA fans. The Lakers
yeah,
were kind of Kobe was scoring a lot of points, but they weren't. They were like 8 seed. They weren't really very good. They had talked Phil Jackson into coming back after it seemed like he wasn't going to. Phil Jackson comes back and they win two more titles. So I kind of equate this to that. You got to
okay,
bring back your championship coach to right the ship, and you know, great move, great move. And even if it is, them going back to I mean, that's fine. I mean, listen, it worked for them. It's made them making all those movies, the four movies they did before. It's helped them get the opportunities that came after that, and so it gave them a little bit of a leeway to where they can make a couple of movies that maybe didn't hit as well as they wanted, or didn't have the greatest response, but they were given opportunities to do it, which they probably wouldn't have had if they hadn't done all this stuff. Because prior to
true.
NMCU, they were just known for comedy. They were the guys who did the show Community, which was a very funny show. But it's weird. I don't think they've gone back into comedy since then. you know. which is kind of funny, but it's a good move. I think it's a good move for them. And of course, if you're an MCU fan, it should be a good move. It's a great move
Sure.
for the higher ups at Marvel. They should be, yes, we got it. Our universe is in the right hands. So
Would you agree that this is going to be, if Endgame was, if Endgame for them was a big challenge, Secret Wars is times 5, times 10, right? Just because of the freaking storyline and the amount of characters you're going to have to juggle.
uh yeah, but they've shown that they can do it. You know what I mean? They started with, Captain America Winter Soldier was like an Avengers movie, but I mean, what I mean, less Avengers.
Yeah,
But
it
that was a
was pretty
big
much
story.
Avengers 2.5.
Right. Yeah, with multiple characters. I know they didn't do Age of Ultron, but and then Civil War after that, it was even more. That was full on Avengers movie. It was Captain America centered, but all the Avengers are in it, pretty much. So I mean, and that was a big story that I remember at the time. I was thinking like, the Civil War should be a trilogy, but they did a good job of all the different story conveniences aside. I mean, overall, it's a really good movie. They did a good job condensing it, and so this is going to be a lot of this. What happens here depends on. I don't know if there still is like the one of them is Secret Wars. The other one they changed it for Kang Dynasty. It's not Kang Dynasty.
It's not going to be Kang
Yeah,
Dynasty.
yeah. Unless they recast with the guy from Euphoria, but I can't think of his name. But I don't know. But whatever it is, it kind of depends on where they're going from here on. Like obviously, we'll see what happens in story wise in Deadpool and Wolverine, and then what direction are they going to go in with whatever's coming out in between now and the next, whatever it is, whether it's Kang Dynasty or whatever it's going to be. Because there hasn't been anything that's set like a course, like, kind of showing like where all this is going. They keep
Yeah.
saying multiverse, but we don't really. What's that mean? So
Well, if there was a course, it was Kang.
yeah,
But now
that's
it's,
true. Yeah.
but now it's, to your point, we don't know. So,
Right.
and that's why them showing up at Comic-Con, Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige, I'm expecting some really big announcements here. I mean,
Mm.
just, they're going to totally redo Phase 5 and, maybe they'll announce the rest of Phase 6. Remember when they did that announcement and like there was Fantastic Four and there was Secret Wars, but then you had all this stuff in between, all these dates that, weren't announced. They're like, we'll save it for another time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think Armor Wars, right? They changed Armor Wars from a show to a movie.
A movie, the last rumor I heard about a year ago was that Armor Wars was going to be like the West Coast Avengers led by War
Oh,
Machine,
okay,
but
that'd be cool.
who
See,
knows?
and they need that because they haven't. There's no Iron Man. It's the War Machine's Iron Man right now, so they kind of need something like that.
Well, maybe Ironheart, but then there's like, okay,
Oh
where's
yeah,
that
I
going to
forgot about
go?
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, see, they need a guy. They need I didn't mean to say guy, but like a like how what Iron Man was for Phase 1. You got the two movies. It clearly was like, okay, this guy's kind of leading it. And of course, obviously, Cap and Thor came after. You got the big three. They haven't had that since then. So they kind of, I don't know who it would be. Maybe Doctor Strange. I know, obviously, we've talked about it a bunch of times. They're kind of hoping that would be Black Panther and Captain Marvel, um, and probably Spider-Man as well. Obviously everything happened with that, but so yeah, I'm curious to see what happens in in between Deadpool and the next. I know you got Thunderbolts the next year, right? It's next year, less than a year from now, I think. And
That's what,
then
yeah, that's what they say.
you're
But
right. So uh, they got a lot to work to do, a lot to kind of clean up here. But I trust them. Like I said, I trust them. They've handled it. They've done it before. They've handled some big stories and big movies, lots of characters before. So I mean, they can do it. They'll map it out. No, they'll figure it out.
all right. Well, I already talked about the Captain America Brave New World trailer, but I will give you an opportunity to speak on it if you like. Did you watch the trailer, and what were your thoughts on the trailer?
Yeah, I did. It looks good. Looks, there's a lot of flashy stuff, a lot of stuff happening real fast, a lot of quick cuts. So it's hard for me to tell really what's going on. It kind of just looks like the standard. It's a teaser, so it's like the standard. It's more or less just showing you that hey, this is coming, and there's a new. Obviously, if you remember, this is the new Captain America. Ross is obviously just seems like he's just been elected, I guess, or is about to be elected. I don't know.
And it's
Or
Harrison
elected.
Ford too.
Yeah. Introducing Harrison Ford. Yeah. They throw the line in there that oh, I didn't say hello, John Booz, Rachel, everybody. I didn't say good evening, everyone. Hello. But yeah, they throw that line in there. It's like, hey, yeah, you look different. Someone they gotta have that kind of line. Obviously, saying he looks different without his mustache, but of course, it's kind of the hanging a lantern moment. Where obviously, he's been recast because of the unfortunate passing. Um, but yeah, it's cool to see Harrison Ford in this role. But yeah, I don't. It looks good. I like seeing Sam
Those are
being the new
Japanese
captain.
aircrafts.
Yeah, a couple of. I guess those are look like F-35s, but they're Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you see the wings. Hang on.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hold on. We go full screen. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Got the red sun there. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Well, I know you've mentioned it, and obviously I guess the, the whole thing centered around the big. Yeah, there we go, right there. I mean the
That's a
big,
great shot right there.
big thing in the ocean. The big
The celestial.
celestial. Yeah.
Well, because rumor has it that's how adamantium is introduced
Adamantium.
in the MCU.
Yes, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's which is good because that. Yeah, I know in the comics, adamantium. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it is from space. We saw that in X-Men Origins. Wolverine adamantium fell out of the sky, so that would be cool. So if
but I'm
it's kind of
curious
a
about this moment right here. What do you think's happening?
oh yeah. I agree. Yeah, I don't know.
Isaiah Bradley still got that super soldier serum in him.
Right. I hope he's. Yeah, man. I wonder. Is he trying to execute? Well, okay. Yeah, he's shooting up the president.
Unless no, do you think the scrolls will be involved? The scrolls?
It's. I had a thought about that. Like, I don't think we're done with the scrolls, so it's possible. Um, we could still be seeing because they said on the show that there was 1 million of them on Earth, which is insane to think about. But the scroll threat still could be a thing. So yeah, it's possible. Um, that was Isaiah Bradley jumping out of the window there, right? That pretty sure um, from earlier, but
Okay, I'm gonna ask you about this. Whose funeral is that?
it's a great question. I think it might be Steve Rogers, maybe.
That was my first thought.
Very old man at this point. Even he's not immortal, obviously. It's like but
And that could be his way
possibly.
of saying, guys, I am not Captain America anymore. Now it's Sam Wilson.
Yeah, yeah. Because you would think, because Sam, because remember they one of the running things throughout the Falcon and Winter Soldier series is where is Steve Rogers? And at one point, his buddy there, can't remember his name, his Air Force buddy, uh, does eventually become the new Falcon. Um, he asks him straight up, and he's like, "I heard, is he on the moon?" Like, no, he's not on the moon. Like, he knows where he is. I think he said, "But you know where he is, right?" He just kind of changed the subject. Seems like Sam does know where Steve is. He won't say. But I do wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It could
Rachel,
be
I love that. Yeah,
Isaiah's funeral. Sure,
right. He
and
gets
if that's
honored,
that's what I hope it is.
dude.
Yeah.
Like, I have criticisms about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I love the Isaiah Bradley character, the tragic backstory,
Mm-hmm.
how he gets honored by Sam Wilson at the Smithsonian and their
Yeah,
moment, dude. Ah,
but it's the fact. I mean, he's still. I'm curious what. I don't know. Yeah, that scene with the in the room there. I'm just curious what is happening. Because I hope he's still angry about her. I don't know, about what happened to him.
mm-hmm.
Which that'd be a tough thing to get over. You wouldn't just get over it. Thank you for the display of the Smithsonian, but I was in jail for 30 years. That'd be tough to get over for him. So if he's still angry about that, I mean, I understand. Do we see with his grandson, um, Elijah? All right, because
Mm-hmm.
they seem to be one thing they do seem to be setting up throughout the last few movies has been the Young Avengers, like a, clearly heading in that direction. And we got the post credit scene in the Marvels last year, where little Ms. Marvel and come to recruit Kate Bishop, and seen Elijah Bradley already on the Falcon Winter Soldier series, and so I wonder if we'll see him. Um, yeah, I don't know what's going on. A lot of what's going on, but I mean, it looks good. I'm looking forward to the next one to kind of get a little bit more, maybe a little bit more of the story. But
I encourage everyone online to watch some of the interviews with the writer Malcolm Spellman. Malcolm Spellman also was a showrunner on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and
okay,
you'll get a better idea of his view of these characters and how important you know um, the commentary of a Black Captain America is, for
right.
him and how to navigate that. Um, so check it out, Malcolm Spellman, and I think you'll really enjoy it. But yeah, more fights over the Tiamat Island, and
Mm-hmm.
man, dude, yeah, it's gonna
Those
be
people are that's cool. That's like Iron Man right there. I remember that from the original Iron Man trailer, breaking the sound barrier there.
and then the money shot. Here it comes.
Yes.
Bam.
I mean, people are like, how is he fighting the Red Hulk? Well, he doesn't have. He's not fighting. Like Sam Wilson's not going to fight the Hulk. Like I don't know. I think there may be. I don't know what's going on with this Shield situation or someone.
Maybe they're
I
playing frisbee.
sure.
They're
Yeah, they
playing
could be.
ultimate frisbee, and Hulk just scored.
They're not. They're not fighting. Sam's not going to fight someone like the Red Hulk, even though he's not the same as Banner Hulk, but he's still Sam's smart enough to not. It's gonna be a Batman situation. Like Batman, how's Batman gonna fight Doomsday? He's not.
Maybe
Most of
Ross
that
was in charge of the program that imprisoned that Isaiah. Yeah.
call Rachel. Yeah, that would be something. That would definitely give him a reason to be still angry at him. And then seeing him get elected president. Yeah.
And Rachel, I did see this comment. I love it so much. When I was talking about Thor's arc
Mm,
and Fat Thor and all that,
That's cool. Yeah,
Problem is also that you are deep in depression before you even realize it's come for you. Yes.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
So true. So true. Um, it's gonna be a very, very exciting week for Marvel, man. Next week, and a lot of good stuff coming up. Um, I saw this online, and I don't know how you feel about the original movie, but can talk about a little bit. Who the hell is across from me
Let's say
in the
somebody having a
hallway?
party. Somebody having a party next door.
Don't make me go out and introduce myself real quick. Okay. It's a service dog. He doesn't bite. I'm sure. Anyways, what do you think about this right here?
Okay, let me go full screen again. Hold on.
Glenn
Remake of
Powell will reportedly star in a remake of Backdraft.
Hmm. I had a good friend of mine who was a firefighter who was like hates this movie, hates Backdraft. It's like it is not like that at all. I don't know, you know. And I remember thinking it was I didn't have a problem with it. I was pretty good when I was a kid, you know. Until, like I said, there's a friend I went to high school with. He's like, I so this Backdraft is it really like that? He's like, no, I hate that, hate that. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, but hey, Glenn Powell movie. Wasn't there a firefighter movie just in the last maybe 3 4 years? It was like a I know this one with Angelina Jolie where she was in the forest. She was like a forest one of those guys, which I thought was okay. But yeah, I don't know. Remake it back. I don't know. I think Ron Howard, maybe if I'm not mistaken, directed that.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense that Glenn Powell would do a
So
Backdraft remake. I
yeah,
mean,
he seems to be this guy, right? He's
he's
doing
the guy,
Top
right?
Gun,
Twisters.
Twister. He's gonna, or yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, this
I don't know if he can capture it. There's just something magical about that movie.
Robert De Niro and
You know, Robert De Niro, Kurt Russell. I think it's
Baldwin. One of the Baldwins.
which
I don't know.
which Baldwin is it? Adam.
One is Adam. Yes, I think so.
Yeah, they're brothers and all that. The whole story about them as brothers, and then, man, I still, man, with Kurt Russell's character and what happens to him, and
Yeah,
man, yeah,
yeah. I'd be in. I
um,
wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind checking that
it could work. We'll see.
out.
Um, so yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. We got to wrap it up. I have some stuff I got to take care of and work right about now. See, when you live at your job, they know you're there.
They know you're exactly. Let's say they can get you anytime.
Yeah. But this was fun, Keith. Thank you for stopping by and making it. I know you were busy and I appreciate it.
Yes,
Um 1 week until Deadpool and Wolverine, man. We'll
yes,
see.
sir.
We might I'll check your availability. See if you're available on Saturday next week, because Saturday is also when Comic Con is doing its Hall H panel.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah. Okay.
Marvel is also doing its Hall H panel
So
for Comic
you're right.
Con.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna try to get something going. I'll touch
Mm-hmm.
base with you. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much to everyone in the chat. Rachel, appreciate you. John Booze,
Yes.
appreciate you. Star Drew, appreciate you. Relax. I don't know where your comment was. Can you share the StreamYard link? Shoot me a DM in Twitter. I want to know who you are.
Rachel wants to
um,
know if we're gonna have a show next week. We're gonna.
there will be a show.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to push it to after everyone has a chance to see Deadpool and Wolverine. So, Keith, I'll talk with you. It'll I'll probably It won't be Thursday because Thursday I'll be driving home to
Right.
Sacramento, and then I have a screening right after. When is your ticket for Deadpool Wolverine?
Saturday morning, 27th, morning of 27th.
So if you can be available Saturday late afternoon or evening time,
Yeah,
I would like to do something because there's also going to be a ton of announcements from Marvel. So we'll see. We'll talk about it. We'll make it happen. I'll reach out to Qui-Gon Jake. I'll reach out to Bartley and see what we can do. All
yeah.
right.
Rachel, we'll let you know. Yeah, I think yeah,
We'll
we'll be
let you
going.
know. Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers. And be safe. And we'll see you at the theaters next week for Deadpool